April 7th, 1994 is undoubtedly the worst day in the history of Rwanda. April 7th began 100 days of a bloodbath, of ethnic cleansing of the Tutsi. April 7th marks the first day of what is known worldwide as the Rwandan Genocide. In memory of that, the country has a beautiful healing period of 100 days, beginning April 7th. There's also a slogan that goes along with that that says, "Never again." When you look at where Rwanda has come since April 7th, 1994, until April 18th, 2022, the word remarkable hardly does it justice. It has been a tremendous turnaround of events, of the economy, of forgiveness, of love for each other as Rwandans. Truly, truly remarkable. So I'm just going to let this gentleman introduce himself, and then we're just going to have a conversation about his experience.
Mm-hmm. Yes, hi everyone. My name is Tiben Sano, and I'm a Rwandan. And I was born here in Kigali, like in 1992. That means I'm 30 years old now, and yeah.
Awesome. So 1992, you were born. So, but when the genocide started, you were just 2 years old.
2 years, yeah, I was 2 years old.
Right. So you didn't really witness a lot of that firsthand. Even if you did, you probably can't remember it now.
Yeah.
So, what experience can you share with me in terms of what you've been told, what you've heard by other family members, that sticks out the most to you?
Yeah. Well. Yes, like I said before, I was born here in Kigali, and I was a firstborn, and I have 4 siblings, 2 elder brothers, and a younger sister, and we were all born here in Kigali. We had a happy family. Like our dad, by that time, he was working in some government office, and yeah, after 2 years after my birth, genocide started.
Right.
But I want to take you back, because genocide is not something that just started in 1994.
Exactly, and let me clarify that too, because again, a lot of people just go to 1994, but my research shows that actually in 1959, things really kicked off in 59.
Yes.
So from 1959 up until 94, you had this going on a much smaller scale. Periodically, some killings here, some killings there, stop a little bit, but 94 became the culmination of all this negativity, and then it just exploded. Okay, so share with us.
So everything started in 1950s, like when the colonialists came, the missionaries, and that's why they started like dividing Rwandans. Those, I would say, they are actually the people who invented this Hutu Tutsi thing.
Okay.
Because before it was not like that. Before, Rwanda was a kingdom. It was led by a king, and he treated every Rwandan the same.
Yes.
There was not this kind of classification where some people were from Tutsi or Hutu. Well, by that time, those names were there, Tutsi, Hutu, but it was kind of like a social class.
Yes.
If you were rich, if you had many cows, you were a Tutsi. If you didn't have cows, you were a Hutu.
Okay.
So that means you could be born from a Hutu family, but as you grow up, when you get more wealth, then you get...
Really?
Yes.
And now you become Tutsi?
Yeah, you become Tutsi because now you were wealthy, you have cows, so you were Tutsi. So back then, it was kind of like a social class.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But when the Belgians came, they made it worse. They changed the whole context.
Okay.
Yeah, they said Tutsis, they started making a distinction based on your physical appearance, where they said these Tutsis are tall, skinny
Yes.
and more handsome than the other, stuff like that. And they are clever than the other, stuff like that. And they started like instigating hatred among Hutus.
Yes.
Because they were telling them, you are the majority. How do you let Tutsis like lead over Uganda?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So, and when colonialists got here, it's like, wherever they got in Africa, they took over the leadership and stuff. That's what they're trying to do. And one of the reasons they hated Tutsis is because Tutsis were giving them a hard time, achieving that goal in Uganda.
Okay.
So they were like, the only way to get these people, to get Tutsi out of our way is, to instigate this hatred among them, to divide them,
to divide them, use the Hutus against
the Tutsis.
Right.
Yes, that's how everything started.
Wow.
So
wow.
Yeah, in I think in 1959, that's when the last Tutsi king was chased out of the country, and then Rwanda became like a republic, democracy, democracy, and that's when we had like a first president, Hutu president, and Tutsis started getting tortured, harassed, and they started like fleeing the country in 1959. But actually,
so when they started fleeing the country, where were they going?
They were going to neighboring countries. Like most of them went to Uganda, others went to Congo, DRC, Burundi, yes, and Tanzania. But a big number went to Uganda. And actually, that's when President Paul Kagame left the country. He was 2 years because he was born in 1957. And in 1959, his family was made to flee the country to Uganda. Yes. So that's how all chaos started in Rwanda. Since then, like I think the refugees in Uganda, the Tutsi refugees who fled in 1959, around the 1980s, they started like trying to want to come back. There were kind of meetings. They met with the former government here in Rwanda, and they talked about letting the Tutsi come back to their countries, but the government was not understanding at that time. And so that's where they came the idea of forming RPA, it was Rwanda Patriotic Army. It was formed in Uganda. Led by that time, it was not led by Kagame, it was led by another man, late General Fred Rwigema. He died on the battle. So when all that started, then everything here in the country got even worse. The hatred against Tutsi got worse because they were saying now their fellow Tutsis back in Uganda trying to come to the country. So the oppression against Tutsi got worse. Everything, how can I say, it's deteriorated. Like they started hunting them on daylight. They started killing people. And
just here in Rwanda, or in the other places that they fled to as well?
No, in Rwanda, because they were being killed by the Hutu government, if I can say, the former government.
Yes.
And so, that's how it is, man.
Wow.
Very crazy.
Well, in history, the colonialists have always used this tactic, which is very powerful, and it works every time. It's called divide and conquer.
Yes.
So they divided the people,
Rwandans,
the Rwandans, because at one time they were just Rwandans. There was no Hutus and Tutsis, right? And so they came in and developed or created this class distinction between Tutsi and Hutu, and then pitted them against each other, divided them, and therefore conquered them.
Yeah, definitely. That's what they did.
That's what they did, and that's what they do.
That's what they do.
And there's still a lot of that, a whole lot of that in the world today. Not only in Rwanda, but I can tell you as a person being born and raised in the United States, there's a lot of that going on in the U.S. as well, against the in the African American community, where we're so divided in our religion, in our ideology, in our social classes, everything, right?
Yeah.
And so therefore we conquer. Amazing story.
Yeah.
Okay, so
like it's crazy how they came here to Africa. They brought the Christianity and stuff, and that's the Christianity was used like was one of the biggest tools that was used here to achieve their goal of of like carrying out the genocide.
Okay. You gotta say that again. So Christianity was one of the biggest tools that they used to carry out the genocide.
Yes. Because like I would say like the biggest numbers of people who died in 1994 genocide against Tutsi, bigger number were killed in churches.
In churches?
In churches, yes. Because most people ran to church.
They
were taught God is holy, is good, so they thought no one is going to kill them in the churches.
Right.
Because like I said, genocide is something that they started planning and they kind of did like trials in some years before 90s. Like I think in a place, Bugesera, you've been to Bugesera, right?
Yes.
The Tutsi there, actually Bugesera used to be like a forest field. There were no like homes there. It was not developed at all. It was just a forest. So I think it was around in 70s maybe, that's when they started relocating Tutsis, taking them to Bugesera, just in forests. There were no homes there. They didn't give them even means of like building homes. They just like
get out of Kigali, go to Bugesera.
They dumped them in Bugesera. They were getting them from different parts of the country. So there was tsetse fly. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it was kind of a fly that was very dangerous by that time in Africa.
What's it called?
You get the tsetse fly.
Tsetse fly.
Yes. And it caused like a very bad disease that could kill you within days.
So even worse than what mosquitoes when they give you malaria? It was worse than that?
It was worse than that. Because you could die within days after getting bitten by it. So many Tutsi who were sent to Bugesera died there within days. Others died of cholera because they were, there was nothing there. They just dumped them in the forest, and Tutsi people were not used to living in forest.
Right.
So that's actually how they were kind of doing trials. Saying
how can we get rid of these people?
Yes, how can we get rid of these people, and what effect is going to cause if we kill them. We're waiting maybe to see is the international organizations going to react to it if we do it and stuff. So man, and 1994 it was worse. It was really worse. Like I said, the other refugees in Uganda had already formed an army. They were trying to come, and they were saying if you don't let us come in peace, then we are coming by power.
Yes.
So when they invaded the country in 1990, that's when here Tutsis they were fired. Those who were working in governments, they were fired. That's when my dad was fired, and he started working in a private organization, an Indian firm that was here in Kigali, and he started working there since 1991 up to 1994 when he was killed.
He was killed in 94.
He was killed in 1994. Yeah, man.
But so actual fighting started in 1990.
Yes.
As the
because the RPA had
the RPA, which is the Rwandan.
It was the army that was formed by Rwandan refugees back in Uganda.
And what's it stand for? RPA. What's it stand for?
Rwanda Patriotic. It was RPF. The political party was RPF. Rwanda Patriotic Front. And they had like an army wing, which was RPA. Rwanda Patriotic Army. Yes. Yeah. So, they started having talks with the government of Rwanda, the former government, like in 80s, asking them, we need to come back to our country.
Yes.
Mother country.
That's our land.
That's our land. We have the right to be there. But the government was I remember this speech the former president said. He said Rwanda is like a glass of water which is already full. Once you add even a sip, it will spill.
So
which was funny. It was funny because by that time when he was saying that, the bigger part of Rwanda was just forest. So it's crazy. Like even today, I don't understand like where was he coming from?
The mindset.
So
basically, no, we don't want you here. So we use that analogy, which wasn't true. Because as you said, there was many parts of Rwanda was just forest. So definitely, a place for people to be able to come in.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically, today I'm not going to talk too much about the pre-genocide time or during because I don't really have a lot. I don't have much experience.
But that's important to set the stage and get some context, because I didn't know that.
Yeah, you know? I understand.
So that was very, very enlightening to me. You know, some of that I knew about 59 and how the colonists came in and pitted the two against each other. But that little piece of history that you gave me was really, really important, really powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were 2 years old when things started. So a lot of your experience is post genocide, because genocide only lasted 100 days.
Yeah.
So you were 2 years old when it kicked off. You was 2 years old when it ended. And so your life moving forward from that point, how was that like? So you lost your father.
I lost my father during the genocide, and man, life after genocide was really tough. It was really tough, and you know, I can't say I did this kind of interview before, and I remember telling the guy who I was doing the interview with, like, I've never had like happy days in my life. Yeah, because you know, I was just a baby when genocide happened. I lost my dad. I don't really have any memories of my dad.
Yes.
The only thing I remember is like seeing his pictures and stuff in his handwriting, because we had his agenda and stuff.
Yes.
But I don't remember like what his voice was like.
So when you look at the pictures, do you look like him?
Yeah.
Wow.
I do look like him.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. I do look like him, and so many people, like when I go back to the place where we lived during the genocide, people are like, "Oh man, that's Son. Like he looks like Son." And my dad's name was Son.
Okay.
So yeah, I feel happy like when people say I look like.
Of course, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
So was your dad the only one you lost, or?
No, we lost so many. Like I lost my grandparents. I lost my aunts, my uncles. We lost so many people during the genocide. We lost so many people. And sometimes I'm like, how did we survive? It was really miraculous. Because first of all, the place we were living in, it's in Bijogo. I don't know if you've been there. It's on the other side of Kigali. Maybe I'll take you there one day.
Yes, we gotta go.
It's a very good neighborhood, very vibrant neighborhood.
Okay.
And so, but by that time it was really dangerous because most of the killers. So, well, I have to take you back again.
Okay.
When, like I told you, when the RRP, the Rwandan refugees formed an army and invaded the country, in the country, you know, they thought their army, the government army, was not enough to, you know, to fight with the RRP. So they started training like young civilian people, youth, like the youth. They formed this youth, if I can call it an organization or something, which was called Interahamwe, which was literally young people were trained to be killers.
Okay.
Younger Hutu
training
people,
to be killers.
They were trained to be killers. And the funny thing is that even French soldiers trained them. They gave them some military training. French soldiers, and they knew everything that was about to happen.
The French.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, man. So those young people, those youth in Interahamwe, they are the ones who carried out the genocide. And how the reason I said like Christianity was one of the tools that were used, because even in Interahamwe, wherever, in churches, in communities, and everywhere. So they are the ones who killed people mercilessly. They killed babies, they killed women, they killed pregnant women.
Yes.
Mercilessly. They were like monsters. You know, it's crazy.
It's just, you know, it's just mind-boggling, man. I try to wrap my brain around, first of all, you know, any killing is just amazing. It's just mind-boggling to me, right? But looking at footage in terms of the way that a lot of people were killed with machetes and things of that nature, just hacked to death, it's like, well, what kind of mind can actually carry that out, right? So you hack people to death, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people a day, and then you go home and have some dinner.
People who used to be your neighbors. People who used to be your neighbors. People who used to be your classmates, workmates.
Yes.
But this one day they woke up like they were monsters. They forgot everything. They forgot about the relationships they had before. We have stories of husbands who killed their wives. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
so
way.
Many. Yeah, we have stories of wives who killed their husbands, who got their husbands killed. Last time I was watching an interview on YouTube of another younger guy, just a young guy like me, who was saying how he survived out of his siblings. Out of 6 siblings, he was the only one who survived. And there's 5 siblings. They were killed by the mom. Yeah. They were killed by the mom.
So the mom must have had the father was
the father was a Tutsi.
The
mother was a Hutu.
So she actually
she got the father killed and the kids.
Her own kids.
Her own kids. Just because the dad is Tutsi. It's crazy. Like what happened in this country is crazy.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah. Like you guys come here.
So the Tutsi guy that you married and had kids by was good enough to be your father, be your husband and the father of your children, but now you have him killed, and you have him kill the very children that he fathered.
Yes. Yeah.
Your children.
Yes. It was crazy, man.
Oh my God.
It was crazy. It's like this. Sometimes I'm like, were these people possessed by demons?
Had to be. That's a lot of times we hear in America we hear this term. There's a term that comes out of the Nation of Islam. It says that the white man is the devil, right? And based on the history of the white man and what he's done throughout the world, you could say that that's true. But we also know, especially listening to a story like this, that there's some black devils too. Yes. I just want to put that out there. Yeah. So the devil has no color, has no ethnicity or culture or anything.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, come on, man.
That's right.
Incredible. So the more I talk to people, the more other things come out that again it just knocks me out. Wow.
It's crazy, man.
And then when you look at the sheer number of people that were killed in 100 days, so the estimates are between 800,000 and 1 million. Yeah. And 100 days. Not with mass machinery, automatic weapons and things of that nature, right? With machetes.
And when everything started, they were saying as an excuse that they are killing the enemy of the country because Tutsis, at that time they were saying Tutsis have invaded the country. So they were saying we are hunting down the Tutsis, the enemy of the country. But still, I don't know, like how could a 2-year-old kid be an enemy of the country?
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense at all. They were coming to find people like hiding in churches, and they were just starting throwing grenades and bombs on them.
So they must have gotten the grenades in from the French and other people as well, right?
Yes.
Wow.
France was funding the government. Funding them with military equipment, trainings, stuff. French soldiers were in the city. Belgian soldiers were here. They were seeing everything.
So the Belgian soldiers were here.
Yes.
French soldiers were here. I'm sure American soldiers weren't too far away.
American soldiers were not here.
They weren't too far away.
Yes, they're too far away.
But nobody did anything. NATO didn't do anything. Nobody did anything.
Nobody did anything.
As a matter of fact, I've seen a couple of clips of Bill Clinton saying, well, we just didn't know it was that serious on the ground.
That's bullshit.
That's bullshit. Give me a break, man. You know everything as an American power, right? But here again, it speaks to when people of this color, there's no love for us. One particular, John Henry Clark, beautiful brother, historian, has lived his whole life for the benefit of his people. He has a beautiful YouTube video that says, "We have no friends." We meaning us. People look like this. We have no friends. You see? And a lot of people looked at that and said, man, that's kind of harsh. But the reality is we have no friends. It's hard to even find a friend amongst us. We have no friends. So we have to come together as
it has to be us.
It has to be us. That's always gonna happen, right? So, I think doing my research, I've seen where, I'm kind of getting off topic here, but it's relevant. I think Africa has like 17 French-speaking countries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Meaning these 17 countries were colonized by the French.
Yes.
So they speak French.
Yes.
And the madness to me is that how these 17 countries hold on to this French language so tightly. As a matter of fact, I was visiting a couple last week. We had dinner, and her son speaks French. In fact, she wants him to be fluent in French, right? Over anything else, over Kinyarwanda, over English, right? And I'm saying to her, I said to her, like, why? I mean, who from France is coming here on a daily basis, like African Americans who speak English? What is it about France? I said, now if he's gonna go to France and be a businessman or something like that, I can see that. But you know, what's the end game of him learning how to speak French and be fluent in French?
Yes. When
the French colonized you, so that should be something you want to get away from, not embrace. Again, the madness continues, man.
It still continues. Like I said, I always say that we still have a long way to go as Rwandans, as Africans, in terms of coming together, in terms of opening our eyes and see that, you know, these other people, these white-skinned people who come here and act like they're bringing churches and stuff, it doesn't come from a good heart.
No.
It doesn't. Not at all.
No.
It doesn't.
No.
Because there's always a benefit. There's always something they want from us. You know.
They're gonna get the bigger piece of the cheese.
Definitely.
No matter how it goes. They're gonna get the bigger piece of the cheese, bigger piece of the money, bigger piece of the beef, whatever. It's always skewed towards them.
And once they don't get that peacefully as they intended, they will try to cause that chaos. You know, they will do whatever they can do, you know, to get what they want to get from us. Like what happened in this country is an example.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. So let's shift gears for just a minute here. So as a young person who's actually gone through this prior and post genocide, what's the conversation that young folks like yourself have around the genocide and what you can do moving forward? What's the mindset of the young people?
Oh wow, man, that's a good question. And actually, I would say there's so many. It's like a mixture. It's a mixture. Like nowadays, we are facing people who deny the genocide, especially young people like me, but whose parents participated in the genocide. So many of them are in Europe, they're in France, they're in Belgium, and they are given a platform to come out and say what happened in Rwanda was not a genocide, or they say it was double genocide, just as a way of denying the genocide against the Tutsi. They still tried like to whitewash what their dads did. They want to show that their dads are innocent. Which is crazy. And back here in Rwanda, you know, we don't have that Tutsi Hutu thing anymore. We are now Rwandans. We have a good government now that wants the unity of Rwandans. They want us all to move forward as Rwandans, you know. So that's the thing here in the country. Like, the first thing the government did was to tell the survivors to learn to forgive. Because after all, even the Hutus, most Hutus had, you know, got their hands dirty, you know, participating in the genocide. Most of them, like I would say, maybe let me say 50% or 60% of them had participated in the genocide. But now the Tutsi, what they used to call Tutsi rebels had conquered the country. The question by that time would be like, so where are these Hutus going to go? Are we going to live with them? Or are we going to chase them also out of the country? If we have to live with them, you know, how is the whole thing going to, you know, because we have the survivors who have their families killed, and how are they going to live with these people who killed their their beloved ones? So that's how they started teaching us, you know, to forgive. They formed what I can call like a government organization that was all about teaching Rwandans about unity and reconciliation. And
unity and reconciliation.
yes, those who got their hands dirty and who participated in the genocide, most of them went to prison. Some of them already finished their sentences and came back to the community. And others fled the country. Most of them are still in neighboring countries like DRC, Zambia. Others are in Europe, like I said, in France. And but it has been like a very difficult and long journey to get this country where it is today after that mess. Like there were still many people out there who still wanted to come back and finish what they started, the genocide.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Right.
Like when the government army got defeated, they fled to Congo DRC with everything they had. They took the money, like they went to the National Bank, they took everything.
Gotcha.
They took their guns, they took their military trucks, like everything. They took it to Congo. So the idea was to get there, reorganize, and
come back
and finish their mission.
And I'm sure to this day, there's still some who want to do that.
Definitely. They still have like an army in DRC.
Yes.
Yeah, they still think they'll come.
So what is it? What is it about the DRC that you think? I mean, you may or may not notice, but what is it about the DRC that they would let that type of mindset and an entity take up residence in their country?
Well, man, that's another story, which is a long story. Yeah, because DRC is a very huge country, and the bigger part is forest. Yeah, like
so they can just hide out and be good.
Yes, and there are so many. How can I say? Like there are so many military groups, like militias in DRC, not only Rwandan. There are so many who originate from Uganda. There are others who originate from Burundi. Like so, they take advantage of the size of DRC. Because I would say like the government there does not have the whole
capacity to
control the entire country.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So everyone who wants to cause chaos in their countries, they first go to Congo, they form a military group, and
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
this history is very, very enlightening, man. Very enlightening.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. So after genocide, life was really tough. Back to my side, like, it was just my mom, my 3 siblings, and the economy was down because everything had gotten destroyed.
Yes.
And everyone was trying like to reorganize and find a way.
So tell me the story then of how your mom, how she survived. How did she survive?
Yeah, man. Like I didn't say this, but there were some really bad Hutus, but there were also some good Hutus.
Some good ones, yes.
There were some good Hutus. And so we were hidden by a Hutu family, a Hutu woman, yes. Her husband, and the interesting part of the story is that her husband was a soldier, and he was actually one of the people who were carrying out the genocide. But we were lucky because by that time he was not in Kigali. The husband was not in Kigali. He was like, should I say, stationed in Musanze. Okay. He was in Musanze. And the wife and the kids were here in Kigali, so they were our tenants. Like we were renting their home.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. And they were living, like their house was next to our house. So when genocide started, my mom took us. He took me and the siblings to that family, and we were all hiding there except dad, because dad started like trying way of getting us out of, because that was one of the most dangerous neighborhoods. Because there were so many in Herahami I told you about. Many of them were from that part. And my dad was one of the hunted people because they knew him. They were saying he went to Uganda for education. They were saying he's friends with so many RPA soldiers and stuff like that. So he was one of the most hunted people. So he was trying to get us from that neighborhood. So he went to his Indian boss, which was away from our neighborhood. But during those days, even like moving from one place to another, it was really difficult.
Yes.
It could take you days just to move from here to somewhere 15 minutes away from here. It would take you days.
Right.
Yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah, man. But our friend, that Hutu woman, hit us for about a month and some days. Yeah. Until Mom learned that so many Tutsis were going to a school that was nearby, where Imotanyi was they had conquered that place, and they were, it was a safe place for Tutsis to come.
Okay.
So we went to that school. Yeah. That's how we survived, man. There were some good Hutus who actually saved lives.
Yes, man, the story within the story. So amongst all the, so all the Hutus weren't killers and murderers. Some,
not all of them were.
Some Tutsis are alive today because Hutus helped them survive.
Yes,
that's powerful.
Yes,
that's powerful.
Yes,
yeah. So now is that lady? She's still living today?
She's still living.
Yes,
she's still living, and
wow.
she's friends with Mom. Yeah. I want to go visit her one day because after
can I go with you?
Definitely.
I gotta meet her.
I gotta organize that.
Yeah. Just to be in her presence and feel her spirit, man. Yeah, that's a beautiful person. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So now, did her husband end up going to prison or anything, or being killed or anything?
I don't really know about her husband, but most people who were in the military by that time and who was on the side that was carrying out the genocide, when the RPA conquered the country, most of them fled. They went to Congo, and most of them are still there. They're still in the Congo jungles. Like I said, reorganizing. They think one day they'll come
back and finish the job.
It's never happening.
No.
We now have a great leadership and
powerful
army, and and the mindset of people here has changed. I think by that time most young people who carried out the genocide, who killed, most of them had not even gone to school. So I would say they were really ignorant. It was easy to kind of
get into their minds.
Get into their minds.
Yes.
They could just do things without even thinking twice.
And I read where a lot of them were being promised, if you kill this particular family, then their home, whatever they possess is yours.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So that was incentive to carry out this madness.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was crazy.
It's beyond crazy. It's beyond crazy.
Yeah. So after the genocide, like I said, it's like everything was down, the economy, and it was hard for Mom to take care of us here in the city. So, around, I think it was in 1998, maybe, she sent us to Grandma, her mom, because her mom also survived.
Wow.
She was in the other part of the country, which got conquered by the RPA very quickly, because it was the part that is very close to Uganda. So those parts, the RPA conquered them very quickly, so the genocide was not as bad as it was here in the city. Yeah. So we went there, and life there was really hard. Like, we were just coming from the city to very rural areas. Yes. Where you had to walk like 30 minutes journey just to get water. There was no electricity. We had to walk like 40 minutes journey to school, and we were just younger kids.
And this was like in 1998 or
2000.
2000.
2000, yeah. That's
so in 2000, we're talking about just 22 years ago. I share with my friends and family in America some of the realities that's going on here in Rwanda on the ground right now. That you had to walk 30 minutes to get some water.
Yep.
Right? In 2000.
Yes.
And there are some people in the villages here who got to walk a little ways to get some water right now. They don't have running water, they don't have electricity, they don't have carpet on the floors, they don't have wooden floors, none of it, just concrete floors. So living is very tough for a lot of people here in Rwanda today. It is estimated that a large percentage of people here live on less than $1 a day. That's to us as Americans, that's unfathomable. I mean, we just can't even comprehend that that's a reality. But folks, let me tell you, it's a reality.
It is.
It is a reality. But you know what's amazing to me is that these same people, they have such a warm spirit about them. A lot of them aren't walking around like they're mad at the world, you know. Some of them are, of course, but a lot of them are just pleasant. You know, like it's just beautiful to see that kind of spirit in a person who has very little materially, but they're rich in spirit and their humanity. You know. Wow.
Yeah, man. That's it.
So I also read something where because after it was all said and done, and because we have to heal now, that and how we're going to work together, a lot of that was, I'm told, was led by women. The women got together and formed this cooperative were centered around growing coffee. And so, you know, we're in this thing together. Whatever's remaining of our country, we're in it together. If the country's going to move forward, we got to do it together. And so they developed this cooperative around coffee, where now the common goal was to build love and reconciliation through growing coffee. So a lot of the coffee that's being produced in Rwanda now is by women.
By women.
By women. That's powerful, man.
Yes, like women really played a very big role in bringing the Rwandan community back together. Because, for example, starting with my mom, like I remember after genocide, after some days without seeing Dad, I asked my mom, where's Dad? Because I was a kid, I didn't know. I didn't even know that he was killed. I was thinking maybe he went somewhere, he'll come back someday. And Mom told me, Ben, you will never see your dad again. He was killed. I was like, killed by who? She told me the whole story. And the first thing I told her was like, when I grow up, I will join the army and I'll come and kill the people who killed my dad. That's what was in my mind.
A natural reaction as a child.
Yes. And my mom was like, no way, don't even think about it. Don't think even about doing that, because if you do it, you are no better than those people.
You're just like them.
You're just like them.
Just like them.
And God will punish you just like He will punish the killers of your dad. I couldn't understand that. I even remember telling her I was just a kid. That's why when she said that God will punish me for killing the people who killed my dad, I was like, who is that God?
Right.
Who is that God that will stop me from getting revenge?
Yes.
Yeah, but she kept teaching me, explaining to me, why I have to forgive, and I understood. And it was the same thing the government was doing. At that time, every speech that Kagame was reading was about teaching Rwandans unity and reconciliation. Yeah, and it was really difficult for me as a kid and for some other survivors, it didn't just make sense to them how you are going to live in the same community, how you will wake up seeing someone and remember seeing them slaughtering your mom or your dad. It was really, really tough.
Wow.
It was really tough, but it happened miraculously. I don't know, but the grace of God.
By the grace of God, exactly. Because left up to us humans, it definitely is not going to happen. Wow.
Yeah, I remember this time. I have my aunt, like sister to my dad. She still lives in the neighborhood where we were living during the genocide.
Really?
So yeah, I went there this one night and we had dinner. And there was a guy. It was my first meeting that guy. It was my first time. And after dinner, when everyone else had left, I stepped up to my aunt and she said, the guy who just had dinner with? I was like, no. Apparently, he was a nephew to one of the killers.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just had dinner with a nephew of
one of the killers of your father.
Yes. So when my aunt told me, I was shocked.
Man, that takes a real special kind of people, and we're talking about a whole country of people, right? I mean, that's just difficult for an individual to be able to forgive on that particular level. So a lot of times you can forgive, but it's like, okay, I don't have nothing to do with you. Don't come around. You know what I'm saying? But to interact with someone who has taken part in a family member being killed, that's and then you talk about a whole country of people being able to collectively do that. Man, Rwanda is a special place in a lot of ways. To be able to come back from that and to be able to thrive the way it is today, the energy of the people today, the spirit of the people today is just phenomenal, considering the history, right? So Rwanda is special, man, in a lot of ways.
Like we've been to hell, but after that, God blessed us. Blessed us with visionary leadership. Like President Paul Kagame is a visionary leader. Like I'm always astounded by like what he does for the country. Every time when I see like you guys coming to Rwanda and praising the country. Like you've been to other African countries, but when you get here, you're like Rwanda is special, and I'm like, wow, I just get astounded.
That's wonderful, man. Wonderful. Well, I had ideas first of going to Ghana and possibly living there, and then Sierra Leone. I did my African ancestry, and I found that on my grandmother's side, I did maternal DNA. So my grandmother's from Sierra Leone. She's a member of the Temne and Mende tribe of Sierra Leone, and then also the Fula people of Guinea-Bissau, and then the Kru people of Liberia. So when I found, and that's all on the west coast of Africa. So when I found that out, I was like, man, I gotta go to Africa, right? But doing my research and things of that nature, a series of events, and next thing I know, I'm in Rwanda. So and I'm told by other people who have traveled all over the world and many other African countries, they say, man, coming to Rwanda for your first time in Africa was the best thing you could have ever done. Versus going to some other country and then coming to Rwanda, right? It's because you get to see a part of Africa that's more balanced, if you will. So a lot more positives here for a person seeing Africa for the first time, right? And I was like, wow, I didn't know that. I'm glad that I did. It has certainly touched me in terms of just the spirit, the energy, and all that. I love it. Like I say, this is my retirement. Right here in Rwanda. So it's beautiful, man. I'm so happy that we had the opportunity to sit down and do this talk together, man. So anything else, man? Anything else you want to share that you think would give some value to the people?
Except like expressing my gratitude, like to the current government for what they have done for this country. Like I said, life was and is still tough, to be honest. After the genocide, but even where we are today, I went to school just because we had a good government. We had a government that we had just came from, and they were trying to put everything in place for us, to help us, get back on track, So they brought kind of organizations that helped young survivors to go to school. We didn't really feel like left out, So, yeah, man, this government has really done a great job. So,
Yes.
I have to salute them.
Yes, exactly. It's very interesting, man. Like a lot of times when I get from people that are around me, a lot of times they be quiet because they want to hear me speak, and then they end up saying, man, your English is just beautiful, it's perfect, and I'm like, to me, I'm just talking, right? And so because a lot of people listen to watch American movies, and they hear people speak there. So I was just at a party last week, and they were just amazed, like, man, you know, can you just talk? You know, I was like, you know, but I say all that to say, so we've been talking about 30, 40 minutes right now, all in English. And so you are a native Rwandan.
I'm a native Rwandan.
And so how did you get to the point where you became so fluent in English?
I don't know. Well, but
you watched some American movies too?
Yes, definitely. I watched some American movies. Like, yes, American movies helped me, like, get the English that I speak today. We went to good schools. Kind of, I was lucky, like I said, after the genocide, we moved to the other side of Rwanda, like it's close to Uganda.
Okay.
And most people who were living there had just returned to Rwanda from Uganda. So their culture, their way of doing things was pretty much like the way things are done in Uganda.
Okay.
Even the schools there, most teachers were from Uganda. And Uganda was colonized by UK.
UK.
Yes. So yeah, they speak English there. Their teachers were really good at English.
Okay.
So
that's the background.
That's the background.
Okay.
That was the foundation of my English. But growing up, I loved American English. I preferred American English to the Britain English. So I loved watching American movies and trying to imitate the way they speak, learning their slangs, stuff like that. Yeah. So, yeah, man.
I can say you were a great student, because you learned very well, man. Very well.
Yeah,
that's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. So now let me ask you this: what do you think yourself, as well as some of your friends? What do you actually think about people like myself from the diaspora? Coming from the U.S. or coming from UK or coming from Jamaica, coming from wherever they come from, Africans coming back home to Rwanda. What do you guys think about that?
On my side, I really think it's a good thing, and I think this is the right time to do it, because I know I watch videos, I read articles, I read some books that talk about the kind of oppression and racism you guys have gone through back there in America.
Yes.
For about how many years?
400
years.
Too many damn years.
Yes. Too many years.
Yes.
So you've been going through that, and I kind of try to compare that to what happened here, all caused by the other white people.
Yes.
And I'm like, why should people back there, black people in the US, go through that? Yet we have Africa, and it's safe here. There are so many countries that are safe for black people.
Right.
So for me, seeing you guys moving back to Africa, it's a good thing. One way that you finally have a safe place to be. Secondly, you are not coming here just to live here. You are contributing to the economy of the countries you are coming to. So for me, it's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yes.
It is, and we're getting to learn, more cultures as locals here. The world nowadays is changing so rapidly, we need to adapt to new cultures. We need to always be open, to new cultures. So I don't see any problem with
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Well, we certainly don't see any problems in terms of coming back. Many Americans are here. Matter of fact, I was at a party last year when I was here at Ikawa Cafe, and if it was 100 people there, 90 of us were from the diaspora. And out of the 90 was probably 30 people from Atlanta, Georgia. And I was like, whoa, Atlanta in the house representing over here, man, in Rwanda, So that was really, really beautiful to see. So we're coming. We've heard about the possibilities here, the opportunities here. the peace of the country, where the country is going. You know, it's great leadership and all of that.
Yeah.
And so, out of 54 countries, many Americans have chosen. African Americans are choosing Rwanda as the place to come and the place to be. And you know, I can testify from experiencing it myself. This is my third trip here, so I love it, and I look forward to seeing more Americans coming. But you know, it's what I'm finding out though, kind of like the demographic of Americans that are coming are mostly older people. So I want to see some younger people start to come over, some young energy, some young ideas. Come over and start hanging out with the young guys and girls like yourself. You know, that we need that demographic to come as well. Because young people need you.
Yes, man.
You know, and you need young people so we can, you know, marry these different cultures. You know, because underneath this so-called culture that you have and the culture that we have, we really come from the same culture. Right? As African people, right? Even though we got 54 countries and you know, a gazillion languages and you know, all these tribes and all this stuff, you know, that's just a part of what Africa is. That's who she is. But culturally, we're African, right?
And there are opportunities for young people here in Rwanda. There are opportunities that young people from either Africa, from other African countries, or young Black American people can come and, you know, take advantage of those opportunities here in Rwanda. Like, Rwanda is one of the economy is growing rapidly, and you know, the tech sector is booming, the agriculture sector is booming here in Rwanda. So those are the kind of sectors that young people need to come and, you know, take advantage of.
Okay. So a young person from America with some tech skills can come to Rwanda and find their little niche and do very well. Okay.
And I think I've seen already like a couple of young Black American guys who have already started some tech businesses here in Kigali, and they are already, you know, doing great. Okay.
So you hear that, young African Americans? Rwanda has a booming tech sector that needs your energy, your innovation, and your money. Right? To come here and start something for yourself, for the benefit of yourself and your family, as well as for the benefit of the Rwandan community. So it's a great opportunity. So let me ask you this: if you were knowing what you know about your country and the opportunities present, if you were African American who had a little money, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30,000, whatever, right? You have some money to invest. If you were a young African American coming to Rwanda, knowing what you know about Rwanda, where would you invest that money?
For me, I would say agriculture.
Okay.
I would say agriculture because we have a very fertile land. You know, the crops here, they grow up beautiful and, you know, how can I say, healthy and stuff. So, and you don't need much money to start agriculture business. You can start agriculture business here with your $3,000. You know,
I'm a witness to that.
And you start making money like within a month. You know, so honestly, agriculture here is a sure deal. Agriculture is a sure. And it doesn't need like a big capital.
Good. So agriculture is one of the places that young folk, as well as old folk, or anybody in between, should look at when you come to Rwanda, because the land is fertile. People got to eat every day. You don't need a lot of capital. You know, $2,000, $3,000, you can start an agriculture business here. I did a video just recently about organic garlic, right? So check that particular video out on my station and look at that as an opportunity as well. We're looking to bring you an opportunity in mango farming, avocados, bananas, chilies. All those areas of agriculture represents a great opportunity in order to come here. You don't need a lot of capital. If you got, the more capital you got, the better, right? But you don't need a lot of capital to get started, and your return is very quick. Very quick return and great return on investment. I'm seeing 30, 40, 50%, some as well as 70, 80% return on investment in agriculture. I'm just saying, y'all. So if you're interested, I'm going to leave a link in the description, my email address, and you can touch base with me, DM me about any interest that you might have in agriculture. That's the lane that I choose to operate in while I'm here. Mm-hmm. So Ben, man, it's been wonderful, man. It's been wonderful. I know you're a busy guy. I don't want to take up too much of your time because we can talk for another couple of hours, I'm sure, right? And we probably will after the tape stops running, right? But it's been wonderful, man. I really appreciate you sharing your some of your story with me, and it's been eye-opening for me. So a lot of the things that you shared, I wasn't aware of. Some of the history. So I really, really, really appreciate it. Now, when we first started talking about this, you said to me that you thought that this was a great time to do it this month because, and let you explain that.
Yes, because we are in a commemoration season. The genocide here started on 7th of April. So every 7th of April, every year we have a commemoration week. But the genocide happened for 100 days, so we spend those 100 days, 3 months, we call it commemoration season. Yeah, because every day, for example, for me, every day has someone that was taken, from 7th up to 4th of July.
Yes.
Every day there was a person, a relative, a friend that was killed. So those 100 days are days of remembering those lives that were taken.
Wow.
Yes.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Yeah. Hats off to the government for implementing that as well. Yeah, 100 days.
100 days.
To remember. And as the saying goes, never again.
Yeah.
Never again. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, my brother.
Yes.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Peace and love. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to add is I also have a YouTube channel that's by the name of T. Ben Sano. So if you're watching and you want to know more about me, you can go subscribe to my YouTube channel. I haven't uploaded for the last 7 months, I think, but I'm getting myself ready to get back into the game. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, I will certainly leave a link in the description as well to your channel. Yeah. And we hope to see you uploading more often. But I know when the time is right, you're going to do what you got to do. Right? Okay, so that's Jamal from what's the name of my channel? I forget. African Lifestyle. African with a K. AFRKAN Lifestyle. Yeah. So African Lifestyle, can't miss it. Big red, black and green logo. So check it out, and please do leave some comments. Let's engage on this particular topic, and I hope for some of you don't think that I'm being insensitive or anything by addressing this particular topic. But I want to let you know that this gentleman himself is something that he wanted to do. He thought it important to do at this particular time during this commemoration period, and so we did it. And so let's have some feedback and tell me some things that you didn't know about the genocide that was revealed in this particular talk, and let's talk about it. There's 2 things that I'm finding out here. As you said, a lot of people are in denial and just don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I mean, that's where they are. We have to respect that. Yes. But then there are people like yourself who's like, we got to talk about this thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I'm of that because I want to learn. And again, it's just fascinating to me, if I could use that particular word, in terms of just how everything just played out. It's just absolutely fascinating. But one thing I want to leave you with is that we as Africans and African Americans, we have to understand and we have to know our history. And we have to know the underpinnings and the foundation of why the genocide started. And it was started by people who don't look like us.
Yes.
It was started by people who don't look like us.
Yeah.
That's the basis of the genocide. Now, unfortunately, people that look like us carried it out. That's very, very unfortunate. So we gotta acknowledge that and be responsible. This is our people, right? But let's be careful of the relationships that we develop. We just gotta be careful. People have to be like us. And from what I'm seeing in the course of history, there's not many people like us.
That's right.
So we got to stay close to home.
Yeah.
We got to acknowledge other people. There still has to be love, right? But if you ain't like me, I can love you from a distance.
Yeah.
We ain't got to be friends, we ain't got to be partners, we ain't got to be none of that, but I can love you from a distance, right? Because I don't know anybody on the planet who has more love and humanity in their heart than the African. I just don't.
I don't either.
You know,
Yeah.
If you know of somebody, please point them out to me. Share them, you know, just share them. Point them out to me. But it's the African who has the humility, the love, the humanity, and the compassion for other people. This is how we're able to allow other people who don't look like us come in and be friends with us.
Yeah.
And then those friends, they take our friendship, they run with it, and next thing you know, we're conquered. That is the story.
And you'll know what happens when Africans go to their countries. You know what happens?
We don't get love.
Yeah.
We don't
All
get
you get is
love.
oppression.
You know.
Yeah.
So again, this is for any other Africans on the continent, anywhere that you may be. I hear a lot of Africans telling me, "Man, I want to go to America. America's the place. America's this. America's that." Listen, I was born and raised in America. I love America, but there's so much about America that I do not like. America is what produced me, so I just can't turn my back completely on America, right? What I'm saying is, for those of you who are looking to go to America, go there if you have to. Do what you got to do. Send your money back home. Bring your butt back home to Africa, whatever particular country you're coming from. Go to America. Do what you got to do. Come back home to Africa. It should be. You should be questioning. I can't even get it out. Forget it. You should be asking the question: why are all these Americans coming to Africa? Sit down and have a conversation with them and talk to them and ask them, why are you coming to Africa? And then that'll give you some insight on maybe why you need to stay in Africa. There's no better place than home.
Yeah.
But I do realize there are opportunities that we have in America and other parts of the world, be it Europe, be it Canada, for earning money is very, very difficult in Africa. You see, so you don't have the same level of opportunity to understand it. And that's why I say, go to Africa, go to America, go to the UK, go to Canada, make some money, and save your money, come back home and start a business in Africa. That's the way it's done. Because guess what? All these other countries that you're going to, be it America, be it Canada, be it Europe, guess what? They have business in Africa.
Yes. Yeah.
Multiple businesses, gigantic business in Africa. So stay home and do the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So listen, it's been great, man. Hey, maybe we got to do it again on another topic or something.
Yeah.
But know that we join at the hip.
Yeah, man.
We join at the heart, man.
Yeah, man.
I love you, brother.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Too, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peace and love. All right.
Thank you.
So we out, people. We'll talk with you a little later. Okay. Be looking out for this video in the next